Hi, welcome back. This is a very useful exercise looking at the actual environment that we're going to be trading in. So this is known as conducting an environmental analysis. It's absolutely essential for leaders to think strategically, and one of the ways that they can plot and plod and work their way forward is to understand the actual environment that they're trading in. So we're going to show you a very well-rounded exercise which can help you find the. Okay, so this is known as a pestle analysis, and this takes 6 different sections and asks you to conduct an analysis taking into account all of these different areas. So let's just take an example of we want to launch a new face cream, for example. So in terms of the political environment for face creams, then we might want to look in our local area and see if there's any new initiatives politically around adding tax, for example, to face creams, or putting in more stringent regulation and medical tests around face cream. So we want to look at the political arena around our face cream. We then want to look at the environmental environment. So we need to consider, well, what goes into our face cream, and is it creating a difficulty to the environment? Also, how are face creams perceived in our local environment? Is it a luxury good, or is it something essential? But we need to make sure that we're not going to kill anyone or cause any face burns. So we're going to have to make sure that whatever we're considering within the local environment and in the environment of the actual face cream, that it's actually going to work. We then need to work on the social environment. What is happening in social environments? So is our face cream for men or is it for women? Because there's a larger group of men who are now using face cream and the male market is emerging. So might we change our face cream, or do what a lot of actual cosmetic companies have done, is just rebrand, repackage the women's face cream and call it face cream for men, put it in a darker bottle, take away the flowery smell, and it's exactly the same. So that would be our social analysis. Then we might look at a technological analysis. So could we replicate some of the ingredients cheaper? Could we make it in safer conditions? Is it possible to outsource and use some new technology? Could we make it more effective? Could we add a sunscreen, for example? All of those things will be around the technological assessment of our face cream. Then we would have a little look again at the legal. We would make sure that we were legally able to produce this cream. We would make sure that we were getting in touch with all of the right advisors to advise us on product liability, etc. And we would make sure that we were a very firm, well-structured legal entity. On our last button it says environmental, but I'm sorry, that should actually say economic. So we would look at the economic environment and we would actually work out what's the economics in this. So how much money will we be making, but also how economic is our product compared to other people. People don't buy on price alone. They often buy on product placement, they buy on the story you're selling, they might buy on the fact that there's no parabens in your face cream, that it's a social enterprise, so the profits are going to a good cause. But have a look at the economic environment, because there's little point in you launching a very high-end face cream in a time where there's actually an ongoing recession. So it may be that the economics aren't right for your particular product at this time. But this is known as a pestle analysis, and it takes you through a pathway which will lead to a more in-depth knowledge around the environment. Again, following on from our environment, is it going to be on or offline? So, or are we going to try and sell on both? Can we upsell and have any associated products? So could we have a day cream and a night cream, and you know, some other suitable products. If people like our face cream, perhaps they might buy the body cream, and perhaps we might develop into making bags or making t-shirts, or we have this customer group of loyal followers, perhaps they might like to buy other things from us as well. So work out what we can upsell. Perhaps we can bundle products together and we can make more money that way. So give consideration to that from time to time, because a lot of people do well out of their customer base. Is the market easy to enter, and if so, is it full of dynamic changes? So we might actually only start a business plan and look at it for a year, because we know that it's going to be a very transient product. It's going to be a gimmick and it's just a flash in the pan, and then people will move on to something else. Gadgets are a little bit like that. Everyone wants them, and then when everyone's bought them, no one, you know, they're no longer super cool or Uber anymore. Is this something that is socially valued, or is it actually no longer in fashion? So an example around this might be around a tea strainer, which you use for loose leaf tea even. So a tea strainer was traditionally a metal sieve, and you poured your teapot through it, and it kept all the tea in one place, so you didn't end up with a mouthful of tea leaves when you had a cup of tea. Now, this was all socially valued because it was essential before the development of tea bags, which did away with the tea strainer. However, though we might say this is no longer in fashion, afternoon tea has actually become very favourable, and the clock has turned back, and now people are actively going out and buying tea strainers again. So work out on an environmental basis, is your product now a socially valued product, or is it perhaps no longer in fashion but you want to bring it back?